Welcome to another vlog. This is the new Hyundai i10 Neos BS6 version. So it's pretty much the same like usual, but the grille has been upfront and lots of silver finish on the top, and on the top you get LED DRLs. And coming to the headlights, those are the projector headlights, but which is a halogen. You get a fog light which is also halogen. Well, now these are the indicators of the vehicle, so those are also halogen. And lot of creases have been given to the vehicle. A new bumper has been added, which gives the minimum ground clearance has been reduced in the vehicle. From the side it looks a bit of i20, but it's not i20. Smart Auto written over there because it's an AMT transmission. Now the profile of the tires happens to be 165/70 R14 wheels. This is a sport variant. You get front disc brake, and for the rear you get drum brakes. So Smart Auto badging right there. Experienced Hyundai badging of the Hyundai. You get black color gloss finish roof rails. That's the Sharpie Atina. This is a Grand i10 in a different textured finish given over here. Well, coming to the rear, so that is a Grand i10 logo over there. That's the Hyundai logo. That's the reverse parking camera. That's the sports logo over there. Well, so you have two rear parking sensors, and those are the lights to highlight your number plate. Those are the reflectors of the vehicle. Well, when the back of the vehicle, so lot of red finishes here and there. These are the indicators. Well, coming to the side, this is to open up the fuel lid. I guess it has to be manually operated from inside. Grand i10 over there. Doors open pretty much large enough. Those are the speakers of the vehicle. This is space to keep your water bottles. This is to keep stuff. This is a textured finish given. So this is a kind of brushed silver finish. This is to lock and unlock the vehicle. Lock and unlock the doors. So only the front driver's side happens to be, one touch up and down. Now getting into the vehicle, rear seats probably. Well, okay, the seats aren't that comfortable. You get magazine holders only on one side, maybe if you are chauffeur doing this car. So you get handles which are already fixed, so you cannot adjust it manually. So you don't even get adjustable headrests. These are fixed headrests. The seat is pretty much comfortable. Floor is almost flat. That is the 12-volt charging socket. These are the two AC vents. Well, this is the light. Okay, probably to route any both. It has been placed in the center so that it can be operated from both the front seat and the back seat. Well, coming to the driver's side, well, I have turned on the vehicle. This doesn't get passive entry, means you get a solid key. You have to manually switch it on. Well, the driver's side door, this is to retract the windows, the outside rear view mirrors. That's a Verna getting ready for the review. Well, you can easily keep a 1 liter water bottle. These are the ORVM's controls. This is to retract, and this is to lock and unlock the vehicle. These are the power window controls. Well, these are the AC controls. These kind of feels like aircraft style, which is kind of nice. The cluster feels very nice for i20, for a Grand i20 to be probably. Well, this is a new cluster which is sleek. Well, you get media, radio, track setup and stuff like that. Well, this is automatic climate control system. You have space to keep stuff. So this is a AMT gearbox. You get twin cup holders. One is a smaller size, probably to keep your tea cup, and this is to keep your drink or something like that. Well, that's a glove box, which is a cooled function. That's a cooling function. This is the inside rear view mirror. For the driver side blind, you get a toll receipt holder, which is not necessary as per the FASTag. This is an airbag warning, and that is a co-driver side mirror. Well, now let's turn off the indicator. Well, this is a cluster. Well, that is a tachometer redlining very fast as it's automatic. So that is the MID unit. Well, so you have trip information, fuel gauge, the gear shift indicator. Those are the telltale lights indicating that I haven't been wearing seatbelt and stuff like that. Let's play an audio and check the sound system. Well, the sound is pretty much nice. The controls feel nice. This is the, you get two twin USB ports. Well, this cluster, very basic for this. Well, the seats aren't that comfortable as expected. That's higher up front. So that is, they open up the hood. This is for the fuel cap. Well, this is the headlight leveler. Without any delay, let's get driving. Forgot to show you the engine bay. Well, yes, let's open up the engine bay. Yeah, that's a 1.2 Kappa engine which produces 83 horsepower, and it's a VT engine, maybe probably the maker's type and stuff like that. It looks phenomenal from the outside. Let's get driving. I urge everyone to fasten your seat belts. Check for all the doors to be locked. Safety is a must. Please don't try to imitate. So now let's get driving, which means I'm pressing the brake pedal, getting into drive mode, getting into manual mode. No, we'll go into drive mode first. Now, well, revving the motor and revving the motor and dumping the clutch. Well, that's pretty much, jerking off. Well, now let's get slowly, leaving the brake normally. So, well, the motor is pretty much punchy. We didn't expect this kind of motor at this price point. Well, now getting into manual mode, upshifting, now getting into drive mode again because of the traffic. The sound feels nice. Well, let's get into the manual mode again. No, let's downshift the gear. Let's downshift. Well, I think we have a problem crossing the road. That's not a problem. Yes, there we go. Now let's take a quick U-turn and check what this vehicle has got. So we just dumped the clutch earlier, the brake pedal earlier, which gave a pretty much jerk. So let's not do that again. Let us do one thing. Let us gradually increase the pace of the vehicle so that we can just know how much power this vehicle has exactly got. So now getting into drive mode. Now. In the drive mode, the motor hesitates to pull. The best thing is to drop into manual shift and manually adjust your grades. But that's too risky because the punch offered by the motor, you can't estimate the power. So it's better to check for a normal road and then you can experiment on things like that. Well, now let's do this. Getting into manual. Okay, a bit of wheel spin, a lot of motor sound. Well, we are at 5000 RPM and upshifting. We are already at 90 kilometers per hour, redlining at 4500 RPM. Now we are again into fourth gear. Brakes feels nice. Brakes are very fluid and very nice to use. Very responsive, I can tell you. Now we are in the automatic mode, so which means it's shifting up by itself. So the only thing you need to know about automatic transmission vehicles are that whenever you hard press on the accelerator, it downshifts and then it goes. So it means you have to gradually press the accelerator, or else it tends to suddenly push up and dump the accelerator, which means it's better to dump easily, unlike you just drop it like suddenly and stuff like that. Well, let's do it again. So now downshifting. Well, now we are into drive 1 again. Well, a lot of traffic. Let's check what is the crawl mode of this vehicle. Means the crawl mode is that you need not press any accelerator, but still the vehicle tends to go at a particular amount of speed. Let's check what is the speed of that crawl mode. Okay, let's stop it aside. Yes, now we have stopped the vehicle. Now let's check the crawl mode of that. Means I'm not even pressing the accelerator, I'm just leaving the brake and it's starting to move. Like, so we can see that the crawl mode is sticking around 9 kilometers per hour, which is pretty much nice. Let's get into second gear. No, it's not shifting. Well, that's not shifting. So slowly press on the accelerator. We are into drive 2, and let's leave the accelerator and check how much crawl speed it has got. Well, it's sticking around 20 kilometers per hour or something. The only thing you need to know about automatic transmission vehicles is that as soon as you leave the accelerator, the vehicle self brakes, which is kind of safety. Unlike the normal vehicles, what happens is when you leave the accelerator, the vehicle sticks to a certain amount of speed. But in a manual transmission, the accelerator itself acts as a brake, which means that as soon as you leave the accelerator, it applies brakes by itself. Not that crisp, but gradually it tends to slow down the vehicle for safety of the vehicle. So yeah, I drive car. It's a family car basically for people who like to drive automatic, and for older people I can generally suggest. Okay guys, we'll be back with another vlog. Take care soon. Bye.